This is the housekeeping for March, 90s Percentile.
Lousy smarch 90s percentile.
And that's it. Go to Amazon.com, everybody. Amazon.wepodcast.com.
.com.
Oh. 60 minutes are on the clock, and straight out of We Studios, this is 90s Percentile. My name is Jack.
My name is Dan, and we are talking everything 90s, and maybe also everything before and after.
Yep. Are you waiting for me to say something?
I was waiting for you to say, I don't know, say something.
We don't have anything scripted for that part.
All right, well,
this
then
is just banter.
Dead air and banter.
Brackets banter.
What people, guys, if you can't tell, we don't have a guest today.
I'm sorry. This is going to be, there's like 2 hours and 45 minutes per week where I have energy, where I actually I want to be productive. And,
sure.
Like there's like a dark night's worth of energy in me, and this is not the day.
This is not.
Usually,
the time.
I like when it happens on the weekend because I that's my most productive time.
Sure.
The place would burn down at some point, or I'd run out of clean clothes if it didn't hit on the weekend. But this weekend completely just...
It's a draining weekend. We're recording this episode early Sunday morning, so it's we're not as loopy as we might be on a late night one.
We'll go to church later, God.
Wink. You don't exist. just in case you do exist.
I was just saying, just in case he's listening, he's wondering why we are in a church right now.
Sure. But yeah, we're recording this a couple of weeks in advance. We don't have a guest today. We're kind of banking this episode maybe for a time when we don't have a guest.
Is this the weakest link?
I've been banking all my money.
I think that's a good reference, right? I've never watched The Weakest Link.
It's a 90s reference for sure.
Is that really the 90s?
Yeah, I think it was 99. Maybe 2000.
Yeah, no, that show confused the hell out of me because it seemed like you had to sit down and watch it. You couldn't just turn it on. Like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You turn it on, you know what's going on.
Yeah, 2000 it was.
You know where you stand. Weakest Link, I would turn on and what the hell's going on? You had the German lady and she'd be like, you, and then the guy would be like, bank it.
Right. Well, because the idea was you're all together. I knew a guy who was on Weakest Link, actually.
Ooh, look at you.
Mr. Name Dropper here. A guy who was on Weakest Link.
I knew a guy. I want to get him on the show.
Watch your toes,
He
folks.
was on Wheel of Fortune, and he bombed.
Oh, boy.
It sucked because I really got to get him on the show. He's a huge Beastie Boys expert, but
okay,
he should tell a story, but he'd probably be too embarrassed. So for months he was
we'll tell it for him.
For months he was like going to be on Wheel of Fortune, and we all knew, but you're not allowed to say what happens because of the
right.
So we were all like, "Oh, we're so excited!" And it comes on, and like it wasn't that he was bad; it was just the woman he was going. One of the three was just dominating.
Sure,
he called out maybe 4 letters the entire time.
Damn,
like he just didn't have a lot of spins.
That sucks.
And it was his dream, and it was terrible. And like we're all like so excited. Then we're like, well, you aren't bad.
That was a very good first try.
It's like 10 minutes into the episode, he gets his first spin.
Yeah.
T. It's just like,
solid pick for a first letter though.
Yeah.
T. It's in a lot of words.
That's the irony.
Anyway, I have a friend. A friend of mine is going to be on Jeopardy. Actually, he's recording it. It'll already be recorded by the time this episode comes out, and it'll be on in July. My friend Rich, you know him. But...
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Me and Rich have had plenty of Jeopardy. We shared a hotel room. We shared a hotel room for your bachelor party.
You did?
Yeah, and I was showing him all my apps that I use to train
for your Jeopardy training. Yeah.
All my trivia apps, and we had a good conversation. Good for him.
He's flying out to LA this week. Actually,
let's break a leg, Rich.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If he listens to the show, so good luck, Rich. It would have already happened.
We got to get him on if he wins. If he loses, he's banned from podcasting for life.
There you go. Sorry,
but if he wins, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, if he loses anyway, I'd love to know what the inside experience is.
Guys.
What's the bathroom like? What's the contestant? Do you think the contestants have their own bathroom?
I will tell him, make sure you go to the bathroom and take copious notes because we want to know.
Do you think there's a contestant's bathroom, or do you think everybody backstage shares a bathroom? Besides like Trebek, obviously.
I guarantee there's a contestant's bathroom because they segregate you from Trebek because you're not allowed to. You can't be near the question writers. You can't be near Trebek.
Because if they like you, they might. Judges might go a little easy on you.
Okay. You didn't phrase it in the form of a question in Double Jeopardy, but we'll give it to you anyway.
We like you.
We like you.
We saw you in the bathroom. We
saw your
big
dick.
penis. We made a joke.
Little known fact, they observe everyone's penises in the Jeopardy bathroom. And if you're a woman,
that's why
they give you a penis.
No, I aced the last Jeopardy test. I got 50 out of 50, but they're like, sorry,
Did you really?
your penis
is inadequate.
I see.
I see what the joke was.
You don't have to step on everything I say before I finish.
Because I was going to say, I thought we talked about the last
You can
Jeopardy
let me
test.
finish a sentence. There's a good chance it's going to be a bit or a joke.
I don't know if I can. We don't have a guest today, but we do want to. We're not going to pull the same shit we did last time. We're just going to talk about Jeopardy for 60 minutes.
I would
too.
I love
but
Jeopardy. I'm really bit disappointed that I don't do great on the tests.
I'm sure Rich would be thrilled to be on the show,
All right,
so
we'll
we
get
can
Rich
get him
on.
on after his episode is aired. He can
after
tell us
his
all about
episodes,
it.
because
I'm
he's going to break Ken Jennings' streak.
Out of everyone I know, if anyone was going to beat Ken Jennings' streak, it would probably be
He's
Rich.
a very smart
so,
guy.
I hope he
And he's
does
a
that.
good guy. He's a good.
He's
like
a good,
guy.
solid dude.
It would suck if he was really smart and really good at Jeopardy, but also just like an a-hole.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Kind of like Ken Jennings. I like Ken.
I don't
like
think
Ken.
he's an asshole.
I like Ken Jennings.
He's a little
He's a little
smarmy.
smug. Yeah,
Yeah.
little any of those SM adjectives.
Yeah.
Smug, smarmy, smegma.
Smooches.
Smooches.
He's smooching that
He's
smegma.
smoochy. He's smooching that smegma. Oh my god. I guess he might. That's a fetish. People like to smooch smegma.
I don't think he is. He's a Mormon from
So
Utah.
that doesn't mean anything.
Well, you're right.
Mormons. They love smegma.
That's the new catchphrase for all of
I'm
Utah.
going to say that's Book of Mormon too. They love smegma.
They love smegma. You've heard it here
Do
first,
musicals
folks.
get sequels? Why not?
Sometimes.
Yeah, some do. Harry
did.
Potter did.
They did The Odd Couple 2. That wasn't a
That was
musical.
that was a play,
It
though?
was a stage play, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was a-
And they made it into a movie,
Yeah,
too,
I knew
think.
about the movie.
Yeah.
Huh. They should do Book of Mormon 2. They love smegma.
They love smegma. Matt Stone, Trey Parker.
You can have that one. Give us
It's yours.
Give us like 25% of the profits.
Yeah,
That's
give
all.
me front row opening night, and I'm okay. And 25% of the
Give me
profits.
millions of dollars,
Yeah,
and
that would be
I'm
nice.
okay with it. Just I'm not asking much.
Not much at all.
And also, I want a seat closer than Dan. I want to literally
You want to
sit
be
on the
stage?
floor.
You want to be the smegma that everyone loves.
Featuring introducing Jack Facone as the smegma. I smell really bad, and you let me build up if you got a fetish.
That's your first Broadway credit. The smegma. Brilliant.
Look at the who's who in the cast.
Yeah.
Jack Facone.
He thanks his mommy, his daddy.
He's had 2 appearances on Law & Order SVU and
Yeah.
played the smegma.
Oh, God. All right, guys.
The part of the smegma tonight will be played.
By Jack's dad. Hey! Everybody loves smegma.
Why is he changing the lines? That's not what an understudy's supposed to do.
That's how I do it. I make my own rules.
Yeah, I love the idea of an understudy coming in and just telling everybody that everybody loves that character. Like if what's his face had to
Yeah.
step out of Hamilton and his understudy
Yeah,
comes in.
let-
Everybody loves Hamilton.
Hey!
And he doesn't bother performing any of the book.
That's the sequel to Hamilton. Everybody loves Hamilton.
Co-starring Jack Facone as the smegma.
That's the smegma.
It's a crossover.
It's a big Marvel style
It should
crossover
be.
universe.
Why isn't there like an MCU for plays?
For Broadway shows?
I want to see like the Avengers of Broadway shows. We have Shrek.
Wait. Wait a minute. The very first person you go to for the Avengers of Broadway shows
Who's the first
is
year?
Shrek.
Who's the first
Jean
year?
Valjean
I
from
was
Les
about to.
Mis,
If you,
the Phantom.
I was literally about to say
A
Jean
cat
Valjean.
from Cats?
If you didn't interrupt me yet again, I was about to
What's
say.
your first choice?
Did you
was
say the
Shrek?
cat from Cats?
did.
His name is Mephistopheles.
It's the magical Mr. Mephistopheles. And Cats is fucking terrible.
I
I
haven't seen
hated
it. My dad begged me to go see it. Back in the 90s,
It's
because
bad.
his office is in the same is in the Winter Garden Theater,
Yeah.
or was at the time. He's like, I can get you tickets. I can, or literally, I don't need to get you tickets. We could just go
We
down
just
the
go
fire
down,
stairwell and be backstage.
That's pretty cool.
And I was like, no, I don't like plays. I'm 10.
Yeah, right.
This isn't Power Rangers.
They should do a Power
I
Rangers
would
musical.
love to see
That
a
would be amazing.
I would see a Power Rangers musical over a Power Rangers movie any day.
Well, that new movie is out by the time this episode's coming out.
Oh, it came out?
I'm very it's coming out. Well, when we're recording it, it comes out on Friday.
Wait, what? Oh, I see.
Comes out this
is not
Friday,
airing tomorrow.
But this
Okay,
episode
yeah.
is going to be airing in the future.
Oh, I do want to see it.
I'm curious about it.
I don't think it's going to be very good.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I have low expectations, but people who have low expectations for this episode of 90s Percentile. Time to right this ship, Jack.
They know exactly what they're getting into.
Let's get into our first 90s topic.
Okay,
So we're going to go.
Smegma.
Smegma is our
Everybody
topic.
loves it.
You can't deny it. They said it on Broadway. That's the rules. Guys, if you want to submit a 90s topic to the random topic generator, go to wepodcast.com or 90spercentile.com. They'll take you to the same place, and you can do it there. And we are going to be pulling random topics from the generator right now. So here we go. This topic comes from Frankenstein, all in caps.
Thank you, Frankenstein. Is it the monster? Or is it that's the topic. But no, that's not Frankenstein. Frankenstein's the doctor.
Okay, if you want to get...
Didn't say Frankenstein's monster.
If you want to get all pretentious on us, Jack.
I'm not getting pretentious. I'm saying Frankenstein himself or Frankenstein's monster himself.
Yeah.
If it was anybody who's going to be nitpicky about it, it is them. Like
you're talking Dr. Victor Frankenstein's going to be like, I don't know,
like
my monster, he's a monster.
Yeah, if everybody in the world got my name wrong, if they're all they call me Jake. They keep slipping it up and they're like Jake.
Yeah.
If there's one person who's going to be pretentious about it and be like, no, it's Jack, it would be me.
Right.
So the person who posted this, Frankenstein, I'm guessing is Dr. Frankenstein.
All right, we'll assume that it's Dr. Victor
Does that logic
Frankenstein.
sound?
I guess. Actually, it would make sense for what the topic is that Dr. Frankenstein would submit it.
All right.
The topic is Dogma 95.
Why does that make sense for
Because it was a whole... who came up with Dogma 95?
Lars von Trier.
Yeah. All those like Nordic type folks.
What does that have to do with Dr. Frankenstein?
Isn't he a Nordic type folk
No.
too? Whatever.
Where did he get Nordic from?
Frankenstein. It's a classic Swedish name, is it not?
If anything, it would make more sense if it was the Frankenstein's monster because he was very erudite and pretentious.
True. And
at least in the
didn't he wind up
as
in
Robert De Niro portrayed him.
Didn't he wind up in the? Didn't he go to the Arctic at the end?
He did. He was very Nordic.
Yeah, he was. He founded the Dogma 95 movement.
I can't remember the name. I named a character in one of my scripts after him once. I can't remember the name of the sailor that meets Frankenstein's monster or Frankenstein. I think it was Dr. Frankenstein.
Silly Sailor.
It was Silly Sailor. Anyway, he might have been Nordic.
Yeah.
The sailor
Look, whether
he meets.
We're not here talking about whether Frankenstein is Nordic or
what
not,
was the
even
topic?
though he is.
Smegma?
It's Dogma 95, which if you don't know what it is.
I'm sure Smegma is actually involved in some of these movies.
It's a filmmaking movement that happened in 1995. Like you said, Lars von Trier. Thomas Vinterberg was the other guy who was also responsible for it. And the idea was...
What country? Denmark?
Denmark is correct. Danish directors Lars von Trier and Thomas Vinterberg. So the idea was, I'm reading this from Wikipedia, rules to create filmmaking based on the traditional values of story, acting, and theme, and excluding the use of elaborate special effects or technology.
No, you weren't supposed to use artificial lighting. I mean,
right.
This was kind of before CGI was prevalent, but obviously no CGI. Natural lighting, on location, I guess. No sound stages.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting idea. The idea of putting story forward is obviously, it's
a smart idea.
If you're purposely doing it to make a statement, sure, but it's kind of ridiculous to say, and I don't think they are saying this, that the story and production are mutually opposing each other.
Yeah,
obviously you can have both, but I guess they were saying maybe Hollywood or whatever had lost its way, so let's do. They were like juicing, basically.
Sure.
Just purging all the toxins out of the system.
Well, it's really interesting that it happened in 1995 because arguably things got much, much worse after 1995 because CGI was hardly even used in 1995. And now it's, you go to the movies.
Well, Toy Story was out in 95, and that's entirely CGI. So.
No. It's a common misconception. They actually... got the toys to wake up.
Toy Story was a Dogma.
Yeah, it was a Dogma 95 joint.
He just opened up a toy chest and naturally filmed. That explains the scene where little Bo Peep is raped repeatedly.
That's not funny. Why am I laughing at this?
It's funny because that's a trope in
I know,
Lars von Trier
especially
movies.
Lars von Trier. Yeah, I'm looking on Wikipedia. They have a list of notable Dogma films. I've heard of a bunch of them, but I've never actually seen.
I think the only one I've seen is Breaking the Waves.
That's not even on this list of notable films.
Does that not count, maybe? I don't know.
Festin is the first one. I've heard of that.
Is that the birthday party?
Yeah. The Idiots is another one I've heard of but never seen.
Is
Julian Donkey
you?
Boy. Oh, that's rude. That's mean.
Because you're a dum-dum.
No, this one's about me. Fuckland is apparently one.
No, is it really?
Yeah.
Fuckland.
I don't know what Fuckland is.
Is that Danish for like the barn or something?
Fuckland is a 2000 Argentine comedy drama film, executive produced by Diego Dubkovsky and written directed by Jose Luis Marquez.
So is this officially, if it's Argentine, is this officially a Dogma 95 thing, or is there some filmmaker filmmaker randomly going, I'm gonna use their style. Like if we did a Dogma 95 podcast, it's obviously not approved by Lars von Trier, but we could just say, well, we're doing the exact same rules, so how is this not Dogma 95?
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Like they set these rules down, and then if you follow the rules, it's a Dogma film.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what wasn't a Dogma film?
Dogville.
Kevin Smith's Dogma. Dogville also wasn't.
Well, Dogville is one of my
All
favorite.
dogs go to heaven? That wasn't.
Dogville is one of my all-time favorite movies. I think Dogville.
I've never seen Dogville, actually.
Dogville is. Oh, really?
No, never.
I have the DVD. I honestly, I think it's one of the most brilliant movies ever made. And
which one is Dogville? I'm confusing it with Alphaville, the band.
Yeah, no. So
and Dogtooth.
It's Lars von Trier.
Yeah,
and it's the exact opposite of Dogma 95. It's all on a soundstage, and not only that, it takes place in a small village. And the village is just a bunch of chalk outlines of houses. So there's just squares, and it just says the Smiths, the Jones. And anytime somebody walks into one of the houses, they mime opening a door, and then there's a really obvious doorknob sound effect.
Okay.
Like, and there's nighttime scenes and daytime scenes. Nighttime scenes, the soundstage, the floor is black. Daytime scenes, the floor and the walls are white. And it's really, besides the costumes, and like a few props, it really couldn't be. It couldn't be more fake. It couldn't be more. It really is the opposite of Dogma 95. I'm guessing it was intentional on his part. He was like, well, look, I could do the opposite. But it's such a. I thought it was a really powerful film.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman. I'm looking it up now. Chloe Sevigny, Paul Bettany
plays Thomas Edison. It's supposed to be very about America. It's supposed to be a USA trilogy. It starts with the letter U randomly. There's just a big U, and it's supposed to spell out USA. But he never made the third one. I was supposed to be called
the Land
Washington.
of Opportunities trilogy.
Yeah. It was supposed to be called Washington, like Washington without the H, and it just never happened because I think Manderley. I'd never seen Manderley, to be honest.
Apparently, followed by Manderley, and then it just says regular Washington on Wikipedia, but maybe that's wrong.
Manderley was the sequel, and Nicole Kidman was replaced with Bryce Dallas Howard, and I just haven't gotten around to seeing it for some reason. Because Dogville is tough to watch. It's 3 hours long.
I mean, Lars von Trier, I would imagine, is pretty tough to watch.
It's 3 hours long, and it's basically Nicole Kidman gets raped repeatedly throughout the movie. So it is very hard to watch.
Just like Batman Forever.
Although it leads to a very cathartic ending.
Yeah.
It's tough. So when I saw it in the theater in Manhattan, half the people walked out, and I'd never seen a movie. I've heard about that, especially like Cannes and stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen an actual movie where people just got up and walked out, and half the people got up and walked out, and I assumed hated it.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the remaining people who were still in the theater, we were all like, "Oh my god, that was amazing!"
Yeah,
I'd never seen such a, what's the word?
Diametrically opposed audience.
That's what I was thinking, but that's. I don't think that's the word I was looking for.
Such a split in the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Polarized. Polarized is what I was
there
looking
you go.
for.
That's the one. Like the North Pole where Frankenstein
or
lives.
the South Pole. Those, if you can't
where
get more
Frankenstein
polarized,
2 lives.
You cannot get more polarized than the North Pole or
What
the
if
South
there were
Pole.
2 Frankensteins who lived on opposite ends of the world?
A little Stephen King podcast, just quickly right here.
Okay, sure.
I have a theory that Gilead in the
Dark Tower
is the North Pole, and the Dark Tower is at the South Pole, and that his long journey of west to east or whatever is actually north to south.
That's an interesting concept.
Because I'm trying.
I can get behind that.
Because I'm trying to figure out, like, if Lud is New York, how does he show up in the middle of the journey? And
Did you see the new Dark Tower poster?
The poster's amazing. Besides the word the word "the" is horribly placed.
Yeah.
Like, what a fucking snafu on the designer's part there.
Yeah, it's very, very cool looking. I'm very excited for that movie.
Check out the Dark Tower poster. It looks really cool. It says the Dark Tower, but the word "the" is in the same row and same font as the names Idris Elba and the other actors.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's starring Idris Elba and the. It's so,
you can't have a movie without the preposition
It's
the.
such a bad design move.
Yeah.
No, have you seen the trailer?
Is there a full trailer?
There's like a leaked trailer.
I think
that we're not supposed to have seen.
I don't
but
remember if I saw it.
Pretty much a straight up modern trailer.
I don't remember if I saw it actually.
It's pretty cool.
All right. Well, I'll wait till it's officially released. Just going back to Lars von Trier, I don't actually think I've seen any of his movies. I think I started to watch Antichrist once.
Yeah, no, the only two I've seen is Breaking the Waves.
A nice, fun
Melancholy
movie.
is supposed to be very good.
Yeah, I think I also started that one too. I think Thomas Vinterberg I've seen a few more of. Let's bring him up.
What did he do? Did he do Birthday Party?
He did. Let's see on Wikipedia. He did The Hunt, which is a movie I saw. He did do the Celebration, which is festive.
That's what I keep. The Celebration. I keep calling it the birthday party.
Yeah, but he did a movie called The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen that I saw that was really great.
Oh, I love Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, that's not a fun watch, but a good watch.
Did you read recently he hinted that he was up for Mr. Fantastic in the new Fantastic Four?
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah, in the young reboot.
I don't see that.
He said he was in the audition and he walked out of the audition when they asked him to stretch his arms out like he was made out of rubber. So I was just like so it would have been Michael B. Jordan, the kid Billy Elliot, Kate Mara, and Mads Mikkelsen.
What a fantastic four!
As young Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a good,
but he's a great actor. I love him.
Yeah, no, he is terrific. I don't really have anything else to say about Dogma 95. It's interesting.
The other movie I saw, Breaking the Waves, I don't know if it might predate Dogma 95. I don't know, but it stars Emily Watson. I think that's her name.
Emily Watson from Harry Potter? Emma Watson?
No, Emily Watson she was supposed to be Amelie. She's in the Red Dragon remake, in the Jane...
Let's just look up Breaking
the blind
the Waves.
lady role.
Breaking the Waves is a 96 film directed by Lars von Trier starring Emily Watson.
You know her if you saw her. She's in everything. She might be in one of the Da Vinci Codes. No, that was actually Amelie. What is she?
She is in a lot of movies I've heard of and never seen.
She's in that Tim Robbins movie. She had to have seen
her in
something.
Theory
She's
of
in
Everything, War Horse, The Water Horse.
She loves her horse movies. Look up her
early
early 2000s. That was when she was young and big.
Angela's Ashes. She was in your favorite movie, Gosford Park.
Cinedoche.
I've never seen the movies.
That's another brilliant movie.
I know. It's another one.
DVD.
I started that one too. I start a lot of movies.
I was thinking about this movie the other day because somebody was posting those Facebook best movie every year lists.
Yeah.
Cinedoche might be the most dreamlike movie I could think of. Like, what if you could pick one movie that most feels like dream logic?
You'd go with that one, not like Mulholland Drive or something, or like a Lynchian film.
Those are almost more coherent.
Really?
Even
I gotta watch this movie.
Even though it jumps around and it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
Within the scene, it feels like a movie scene.
Yeah.
Whereas almost every detail of Cinedoche feels like a fucking dream.
Right.
Like there's a scene where Philip Seymour Hoffman's just like being shown a new house. They're like showing him an open house, and the house is just on fire the entire time, and nobody's acknowledging it.
Okay. Sounds like a winner. I know. I gotta watch that one.
Breaking the Waves is I watched it in film school. My first month there, and I fell asleep during it because I fell asleep during every movie we watched ever because they were like, all right, we're going to turn the lights out and put this movie on for 2 hours, and I was getting 3 hours of sleep a day, and I was just like, all right.
Nap time.
Yeah, but the first hour and a half or so was great. I think it was also the breakout role for Stellan Skarsgård. And it's about Emily Watson getting raped repeatedly. So
terrific.
That's Lars von Trier probably has some hang-ups.
Lars von Trier is an intense guy, it seems. Yeah. He makes very intense
Antichrist,
films.
if you don't know, that's the one with the Willem Dafoe's huge penises in it.
Yes, and Charlotte Rampling cuts out her own vagina, I believe.
How do you cut out a hole?
I think the lips are severed in her vagina.
I see. Okay.
That's a dark movie. I've seen clips of it. I've never seen the whole thing.
He should direct the Smegma movie.
I think Lars von Trier is attached to
that should
to
be the third of the Land
movie.
of Opportunities trilogy.
The Lego movie was such a big hit. They were like, why not Smegma?
Google, this is not great for an audio podcast, but for your own amusement, Google image search Dogville, just so you see what the set looked like.
Search a Dogville.
I put it up on the big board, but I'm too lazy.
It looks like a bunch of people just sitting on a black top with chalk everywhere. It's as described by you earlier in this episode.
And that's the whole movie for 3 hours.
Interesting. For 3 hours.
It's basically like watching a play. It's no different from watching a play.
Sure. Interesting.
Anyway, let's hit up a new topico.
At some point, I will watch it. But thank you, Frankenstein, for stumbling into the topic generator and giving us that one.
The topic offered him a little flower, and then he picked it up and threw the topic in the water.
Fireman!
Keep doing. What are you doing? You're doing young Frankenstein.
Oh
right?
no, that's Phil Hartman's Frankenstein from SNL.
Yeah.
Fireman!
Tonto and
Tonto, Tarzan, and Frankenstein. All right, we got another topic here.
It's kind of insulting to Tonto, huh? Because like
Tarzan
was
a little bit racist to Tonto, for sure.
Yeah, Tarzan was raised by apes, so his English not so good. He's kind of primitive.
Frankenstein, a literal monster,
literal dead monster. Tonto's just Native American. He's probably very capable and smart.
Probably, but
I think his English was fairly well too. It's probably his second language.
Yeah, which is impressive. Tonto,
I can't speak.
You got
languages.
the raw end of the deal. We have another topic. It comes from Yakub Bayani, longtime listener of the show.
How
So
you
thank
doing,
you, Yakub. This is an expansive topic, so we may have to trim this down a little bit. It's The
That's not a
Expanse
90s
on
topic.
Sci-Fi.
It just came out.
Oh, man. No, it is Mortal Kombat, parentheses, both games and movie.
All right. Okay.
I think we're going to have to
right.
pick one and just talk about it. And
Wait, to sneak in a bunch of time. That's like a wish for a million wishes there.
Yeah, we're on to you.
We
YB.
We run a tight ship here.
Yeah, this is
at
not
90s percentile.
This is not some crazy make 'em up podcast where there's no rules. We have a clock. We got
have the
35
We
minutes.
use the Dogma 95
right.
rules in that we have 95 tangents before we get to a topic.
Before we
and
shut
that's
up.
our Dogma.
That's it. So what do you want to do, Jack? Do you want to talk about the games, the movie? I kind of want to talk about the movie. I guess you can't really talk about the movie without talking about the game. So
Should we take the topic literally? And because I'm assuming somebody else put in Mortal Kombat the game.
Yeah,
I'm assuming somebody else
probably.
put in Mortal Kombat the movie. What if we just talk about the connections between the games and the movies?
we could try to do that.
Okay.
What connections were there between the games and the movies?
Oh, they had the same characters.
Same characters, loosely the same plot.
There's fighting.
Mortal Kombat never made a whole lot of sense. I mean, it was interesting, like in the 90s when they tried to make all these video game movies, you know, a lot of video games didn't really have deep plots. Like Super Mario World or Super Mario Brothers, which is a movie that I love.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Well, a lot of people do not agree with that assessment.
Do they not agree just because it was so jarring at how unlike the game it was?
It's just a super weird, dark
see-
dystopia, alternate reality
I
movie.
think the way movies get good buzz and the buzz kind of just becomes a self-fulfilling thing.
Yeah.
I think the bad buzz is the same thing where Super Mario Brothers is just such a go-to in terms of, oh, what a stinker, what a bomb. And like I think it just has it just kind of wears that mask and nobody actually thinks it's genuinely bad. Or maybe some people do, but
I think
not
some people do, but I love that movie, and I feel like if all you had
It's like
was the first game, that's not a crazy interpretation to make
not at all.
of the first game.
Not at all. But the Geely, the Ben
Yeah,
Affleck movie.
yeah.
That's the worst movie ever made. It's not the worst movie ever made.
I've never seen it, so, yeah.
But I'm telling you, it can't be the worst movie ever made.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's just a mediocre.
Citizen Kane is a huge piece of crap.
I'm sure it's just a mediocre romantic comedy. I think there might be like a retarded character or something that makes it tasteless. But besides that, are you really telling me it's the worst movie ever made? That's what I'm saying. I
There's
don't
some
know.
bad movies out
So
there.
I don't take it seriously when people say Super Mario Brothers is a terrible movie.
Right, but
I also didn't understand the boots. So they have boots, and the whole time, for years, I'm just like, where did these boots come? Those boots aren't in the game
'Cause they jump.
I didn't realize that until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
That was like they were trying to come up with an in-world, real, naturalistic
Right.
way for them to jump like Mario, because Mario's Jumpman.
Yeah.
I totally went over my head
Well,
until
that's why-
very, very
that's
recently.
why
I was
I think-
in my 30s when I realized that.
I think the movie does a lot of really good stuff because it takes these kinds of things that don't really make like Mario doesn't make any fucking sense in universe, and it tries to make it make sense in like a real world setting.
Yeah,
which
the fungus everywhere, the mushrooms. Yeah.
I fucking love that movie, but if it
yeah,
was streaming anywhere, we should do a Sig Points. But I'm sure that's a topic in here.
My one qualm would be why make Luigi the protagonist.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't mind him being
Right.
young and maybe even getting the love interest, but
also instead of Italian guys, you cast a British guy and a Latino guy as the Mario Brothers.
It's acting, whatever.
I like both of them in that movie. They both hated filming the movie.
Really? Why?
So John Leguizamo, when he put out his
What's
memoirs,
he famous? I was thinking about him the other day. Why is he famous?
I mean,
feel like he was just
a comic.
He was just always famous. Is that it? He got to see. He started out as stand up and just
He did stand up and he did a lot of one man shows.
like I feel like So I was looking up his IMDb profile. And,
Yeah.
and
A Pyromaniac's Love Story was one of his.
The Pest was out.
The Pest was like 96.
And by then I remember going, oh, this is a John Leguizamo vehicle. He's
Right.
already famous. And I was looking, and none of the movies before that, except for maybe Pyromaniac's Love Story or Super Mario Brothers, I was just like, well, he just seemed to always he always had big roles. Like he was just always famous. It had to have been a stand-up.
I'm looking up real quick.
He must have had like an A, because like Super Mario Brothers, I feel like he was already kind of famous, right?
So yeah, he definitely was.
And that's 91.
No, that was 93 was Mario Brothers.
Really?
Yeah. So he started out as a stand-up doing nightclub circuit in 1984. He started on TV in 1986 with a small role in Miami Vice. So it seemed like he was kind of doing the stand-up thing and the acting thing.
So
and
he was
kinda,
like he was
just
like
rose to the ranks.
John Mulaney of his day.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I don't know stand-ups anymore. All right. So anyway,
And I like John Leguizamo. But anyway, that's not our topic.
Why didn't he like us filming it?
Well, that's what I was saying. When he put out a book, his first memoir, I guess. I went to the bookstore and I pulled it off the thing and I just looked up Super Mario Brothers and just read the 2 or 3 pages about that because I really love that movie.
It's a good movie.
And it was basically a miserable time. Like they thought the script was garbage. They thought all of it was stupid, and just like he and Bob Hoskins were ashamed to be a part of it.
Oh, I love the idea of Dino Hat, and I love the idea of humans evolving from lizards instead of apes.
And if you're going to get someone to play King Koopa, Dennis Hopper, phenomenal choice.
Yeah, great King Koopa.
He's so good in that movie.
I have a huge crush on Samantha Mathis.
Yeah,
she's
so
great. Cute.
Very good in that movie.
Even now, still very attractive.
What's his face from Short Circuit? Was one of the Fisher Stevens.
Yeah,
he's great.
I could go either way on him.
What
did I just see him in? The Night of, the HBO miniseries.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet.
He's in it for like 2 scenes as a pharmacist. It was just like, what are you doing there? I know he's big behind the camera, so he probably should.
Yeah, I think he's directing a lot lately. But anyway,
yeah.
There haven't been a lot of roles.
He was in Lost. Yeah,
he was in Lost, but there haven't been a lot of roles for white people in Indian face lately. So he's been having some struggles. Johnny Five,
Indian face.
I mean, watch Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2.
No.
Short Circuit 2, another underrated film.
Yeah, Michael McKean.
Phenomenal in it. Anyway, that's none of this is our topic. Our topic is Mortal Kombat, so let's get into that.
What were we talking about? Oh, video game adaptations.
Yeah, my point bringing Super Mario Brothers up was there's really not a lot of story. Like
that's not a problem.
Mortal Kombat takes place in another realm called Outworld, and that's basically it.
I don't know why we can't seem to get a genuinely great video game movie. I think the movies are underrated. Video game movies are underrated because now there is this self-fulfilling buzz of, oh, it's a video game adaptation. It's terrible. So you get a movie like Prince of Persia, which is like a fine, mediocre, generic action movie.
Yeah.
But because it's a video game, they're like, bomb, terrible.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas if it wasn't based on, if it was just a random action movie, they were like, yeah, there's another action movie. It's like Sahara.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it, but I know Assassin's Creed came out. I've never played any of the games. It did not do well, and people were like, another video game.
I couldn't see it just because, for whatever reason, every movie I saw in 2016 and early maybe 2017. They had the trailer. I watched that same trailer.
I saw that trailer so many times.
45 fucking times. The exact same. I am God, but I believe in God. Wow.
And he drops off the building.
Yeah, and he drops off the building.
It's the Animus. Put me inside of it. I'm Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, so I think there's this buzz of just video game movies getting. Again, I don't think there's been a great one, but just for not being good, they're automatically just shit on.
I think you're right. I think part of that is now video games have gotten more filmic.
Yeah,
and so a lot of the games are just like 40-hour movies already. You try to distill it into 2 hours, it doesn't work so well.
That's the other criticism I don't agree with in terms of going back to like Mortal Kombat Mario.
Yeah,
I don't think you should. You can't go. Oh, you can't make a movie out of this because there's no story. That shouldn't be a. You can be inspired. An adaptation should be inspired by the spirit of something, not by the. Look at Watchmen. Watchmen is a shot-for-shot adaptation of the comic, and it fails.
It's okay, but it could have been much better.
I'm generalizing. I actually like Watchmen.
I know.
But
I would argue, and maybe you'll agree with me, and maybe you won't, that Mortal Kombat the movie is the best video game adaptation movie. The first one, the second one is a huge pile of garbage.
Resident Evil might get that unofficial title from the masses. I'm not crazy about the Resident Evil movie. Actually, I was thinking about this today too.
Yeah.
I have a feeling the Dark Tower, if there are more movies, I have a feeling it's going to be like the Resident Evil type adaptation, where they're just doing their own thing and they'll name check a character like, hey, here's Eddie Dean, even though it has nothing to do with Eddie. I have a feeling it's going to resemble the relationship between the books and the movies are going to be very similar to the relationship. Like, I know it's a direct sequel and stuff like that.
You finished the books now at this point, right?
Yeah, I finished it last night.
Right. So you know what they're doing now.
Yeah, the Horn of spoilers.
Yeah, okay. We don't need to spoil it. I'm just, you and I know what's up. But
I understand that it's a sequel.
Yeah. Right.
And I knew that it was spoiled for me by you guys several episodes ago.
Did we spoil it?
Yeah.
Who spoiled it? We didn't spoil it.
You and Adam Garcia spoiled it.
No, we didn't.
You're like, well, we won't say. We'll just talk in vagaries, and then like, 2 plus 2. We won't say what it equals.
2 plus 2.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
So I saw it coming a mile away, but. So I understand that it's not Resident Evil. I think takes place in its own. The movies take place in their own separate universe,
right?
But I have a feeling it's going to be very similar in the way it treats the source material.
Yeah. I mean, Mortal Kombat the movie. I've seen it so many
you were
fucking
asking
times.
if is it the best video game adaptation?
It's my personal favorite.
Even more than Super Mario, the movie you love so much.
Okay. As a movie,
Have you ever stopped in a bookstore and grabbed somebody's memoir and looked up their mortal? Did you look up Bridget Wilson?
Bridget Nielsen, is that her name?
Is it Bridget Nielsen?
What's her name from Billy Madison and Mortal
I feel like
Kombat?
Bridget Nielsen might be someone else.
I'm looking it up.
Bridget Wilson and Bridget Nielsen. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah,
Bridget,
me too.
which one's the Red Sonja? That's Bridget Nielsen, isn't it?
I don't even know. Bridget Wilson.
And
Christopher Lambert, Robin Shue.
Oh yeah, Lambert might actually have an interesting memoir.
He might actually, yeah.
Probably not the guy that played Johnny Cage.
No. They replaced him.
Is there anybody else of note in that movie? I know Liu Kang was in a lot of stuff. The guy that played
Liu Kang was in a lot
he
of
might
stuff.
have been in the series too.
That might have been it.
Which was more. I thought the series was the most. The series. Do you ever see the?
Was that the web series they did a couple years ago?
No. There was a syndicated Mortal Kombat series in the 90s. Was that part of Yakub's topic? Did he mention that? Or he just said the movies and the games?
He just said the movies and the games.
There was a syndicated show.
There was a cartoon called Defenders of the Realm.
It ran for like a season or two, and it was basically a sequel to the first movie. And it's Raiden going around with Liu Kang and Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage going on adventures. And the series finale was fucked up. Everybody dies. All the bad guys win.
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat Conquest.
Yeah.
It aired in 1998 for one season of 22 episodes.
Yeah, I remember.
Christiana Loken was in it.
Oh, I didn't watch the whole thing, but the series finale, spoilers, everybody dies.
All right.
The bad guys win, and it ends with
You
Raiden.
spoiled something for me. I've spoiled something for you.
It ends
It's
with
fair.
Raiden. Were you going to watch the Mortal Kombat?
Tomorrow. I have it coming from Netflix.
But no, yeah, it's crazy. Shao Kahn kills Raiden, and the series ends. I can't remember. It might have like a Mighty Max time loop ending, but
Yeah, it looks like Earthrealm falls under Shao Kahn's rule. That is the end of the last episode's recap.
How often do you have like a classic
It's a downer.
adventure story where the bad guys win?
Yeah, not often.
Imagine Lost. Everybody dies, and the smoke monster's like, "Well, off to Cleveland."
That's it for me. Excellent smoke.
Cleveland,
smoke
please.
monster. One for Cleveland. I'm the smoke monster. I sound like Cobra Commander.
Hey, understudy for Smoke Monster. Get out of here.
I'm everyone's favorite character.
I would love a Broadway spinoff. A one-man
Smoke
show.
Monster on Broadway.
The Smoke Monster doing a one-man show. It's just like it's like a little temple set, like it's his living
Amazing.
room.
Yeah,
He's
I would love this.
So let me tell you about Jacob.
Why was there a polar
Why
bear
is
on
he
the
becoming
island?
the crypt keeper?
Oh, well.
Why is he becoming Joker?
That's funny. I was leaning into Crypt Keeper more and you said Joker.
It's
Yeah.
Smoke Monster reading Donald Trump tweets. Sad.
I would watch this show. I think we're onto something
Smoke
here.
Monster.
Yeah.
Read Donald Trump tweets.
Yeah.
Doing
As
an
a
impression of Mark Hamill's Joker.
Yeah.
Well, give me a Donald Trump tweet. Where's there a Donald? I'm telling you, this one-man show would be great. It'd be like La La Land. There's like 6 people in the audience. Just my friends showed up. It's just,
Well, you never know who's going to be in the crowd, Jack.
it's just Richard. And, who else is associated with the smoke? John Locke.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Despite what you have heard from fake news, I had a great meeting with German Chancellor Angela Merkel. That was the opening titles of Lost.
Is that what that was? I thought maybe that was him hitting the pylons because you did this like spreading wings, arms motion.
That's the word
That's
lost.
the word
flying
lost
towards
coming
the
out of me.
screen.
Well, your
Yeah.
hands are in focus, so I didn't get the.
Okay. Let me unfocus my hands real
Oh,
quick.
is that the Lost theme?
Yeah, they got it. So is that it for Mortal Kombat? No, I actually. You asked me if it's my favorite video game movie because I spent so much time saying Super Mario Brothers was. I think Super Mario Brothers is the best adaptation. No, I'm a liar. Mortal Kombat's
Mortal
the second
Kombat's a
best
more
one.
faithful adaptation, I would say.
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
a fairly faithful adaptation. What other video game movies are there? I have a few. I guess I'll keep them close to the chest in case I actually ever become a successful screenwriter. But I have a few video game movies. I have ideas for some video game movies I would love to make a cool movie out of.
What do you got? Mortal Kombat 2? They already
I
did
guess
that one.
Well, one of them would be Mirror's Edge. I have a really cool idea for Mirror's Edge.
I don't really know that
I
one.
think that would make a really cool movie. I have my live stream, and I'm sure at this point, my career is not going the way I wanted to. I will probably never have this opportunity, but I always wanted to make a Legend of Zelda Like
Sure,
I was
yeah.
shocked after Lord of the Rings that they didn't try to do it.
It is kind of strange, yeah.
Because that's a movie where you could make it like James Bond. You could do 20 Zelda movies, and
Yeah.
you could recast Link anytime you want because most of the Links in the video games are different people.
they're different people.
Threw water all over me.
Did I get you? I know I got my computer.
Yeah.
How did I get you with water? You're so far away.
It's all over
We're at
me.
the big table from Batman.
Pass the
That's the salt. I've never actually been in this room before.
Yeah, so the Zelda, the Zeldas are different Zeldas. They all exist in different timelines. I think there's even a Game Boy game or whatever the portable is, 3DS. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a portable guy. That takes place in like a. They have trains, like it's a steampunky Zelda.
The only Zelda I've ever finished is the very first Zelda.
Yeah, so up until maybe Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time, the Nintendo 64 was considered the earliest canon Zelda.
Okay.
And then Majora's Mask was the same Link.
Right.
It was the same physical Link. Wind Waker was a different Link that took place like 50 years later, and it's basically his soul, his spirit is reincarnated in different boys.
Okay,
and there's different,
interesting.
And there's different Zeldas. Like different, her spirit is passed on, and Ganon, I guess. The three of them are just always fighting each other. It's very Dark Tower, actually.
Yeah,
they're
okay.
twinners.
Locked into this eternal struggle.
But I think Wind Waker now takes place before
They're
Ocarina
twinners.
of
I
Time.
get what you just said.
Yeah, and this I don't know where this new Breath of the Wild, which is supposed to be the greatest video game ever made.
Yeah, people are raving about it.
I'd love to play it, but where am I going to find 100 hours? And
yeah, I have no idea.
buy an entire Nintendo console just for this one game.
Yep.
But they're different Links. So, and then there's brown-haired Links, there's blonde Links. So
Right.
you could do 2 or 3 movies with a young actor and then recast it. Have a black Link, have a girl Link, switch it up.
Switch it up.
And you could do if you were just to adapt the video games, you already got 2025 movie. You could make it
Yeah,
like a
there's
Bond
plenty.
series. I'm surprised they haven't gotten started. My dream would have been to do like a 5-movie series. Start with Ocarina of Time, do a Link's Awakening at some point, which is a time hopping, and you could start like crossing over different Links, and eventually got to do the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, you're right. It's surprising that it's taken them so long to do this. I bet, given how much people are raving about this new game, I bet we'll see it.
Well, there was a rumor about 6 months ago that Netflix was going to produce an original series, but
Yes, I
that
remember hearing about
also
that.
Fell through.
They are doing a Castlevania series.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It
Warren
just-
Ellis wrote all of it.
Yeah, no, but it's swords and sandals. It's magic. It's just
Sure.
it blows my mind they haven't done it yet.
It's a
But they
fantasy
also
epic.
haven't made another Mario movie.
Well, that probably will never happen, considering the first one tanked
I
so
feel
hard.
like an animated CGI Mario movie would be very easy to do.
Well, we already have the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Or again, we've had this conversation a few times. I like long form better. Make a TV series. That would be cool. Basically, do the original Super Mario Bros. Super Show, but more modern.
I would rather have Zelda than Mario Brother. Mario, the story is not what's fun about Mario.
You ever read what's his face's Mario script? Who's
what's
Chronicle?
his face?
Max Landis.
Max Landis. I never read the script. Maybe I've heard about it.
That
at some
guy
point.
is so hard to watch. He can be so insufferable, but he's such a smart, really cool
Yeah.
guy. Like I feel like I would get along with him
I
great.
think I like Max Landis.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually.
And I'm sure he would be the first to admit that he's probably like a little pretentious or cocky or
He
whatever.
seems a little intense in person, but I loved.
but he's such a smart pop culture guy.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I loved. He shot the Death and Return of Superman short. You must have seen that.
No, I didn't see
Are
it.
you kidding me? Oh, it's like a 20-minute long short with like a bunch of his famous friends,
Actors
like
and
Elijah
stuff?
Wood
Oh,
and
wow.
people in it.
Good for him.
Reenacting the story of the Death and Return of Superman.
With like special effects and in costumes and stuff?
We're gonna have to watch it after we record this
Okay.
episode because it's a lot of fun.
But I want to show you. So he wrote, when he was like 18 or 19, he wrote like a 200-page, 4-hour serious Mario movie he wanted to make.
Wow.
And he was like humble bragging. He posted it. He was like, look how terrible my script is. But he's showing off because I do the same thing. Maybe one of these days I'll show my terrible Batman script, which is terrible,
right.
but I love it.
Yeah.
I think one of the first lines is Killer Croc going, hey, bat fuck.
Oh boy.
I wrote it in one night on no sleep.
And then he goes into the toy accelerator and fuses with a car.
So yeah, he posted his 436 pages, and general screenwriting
That's
rule, if you
intense.
don't know, is 1 page per minute of screen time.
Right. So like 120 would be the max.
Yeah, and Max Landis.
Max Landis.
But so 436 is 436 minutes. How many hours is that?
That's several hours.
That's like 5 or 6. That
that's
would be like an HBO
8-hour
miniseries.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you can download the whole script.
yeah. No, I started reading
That's
it,
pretty
and
awesome.
it was just it was too
All right,
much.
well, we're
but
bringing this up from Max Landis'
right.
official website.
all right, so here.
What on earth is this? It starts with self-reflection.
Okay,
That's the first page.
I'm not even going to do this. But the first scene is exterior, Crampton, New Jersey, the woods afternoon, caption March 1988. The New Jersey Pine Barrens, everything is gray. Before that, we're just going to read this because we don't really have that much time. This is the opening of the movie. It's a black screen, and then there's an epigraph. You know, the words they put on the screen. There's a quote, and it says, "What if something appears that shouldn't? You either dismiss it or you accept that there is much more to the world than you think. Perhaps it is really a doorway, and if you choose to go inside, you'll find many unexpected things." Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of Super Mario. First of all, that's a terrible epigraph to open up a movie. It's too long. It's wordy.
It is very long.
But then there's a voiceover on top of that, and it's Luigi going, "This is the story of my brother, the greatest hero of a world you will never see."
I got to read
the
this
sound
thing.
of distant thunder, lightning flash. Like it's so
this is
self-serious and overwrought that I think it's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, this is bonkers. I need to read this.
And it's 5 hours long.
440 pages. You were not
So I'm
kidding.
skipping way
Dixie
ahead.
Kong is apparently making Swanky Kong. What the hell?
He throws in everything. And this is exactly the type of movie I would make. I would make it CGI, and I wouldn't make it self-serious. But I would incorporate all these elements. You could have so much fun with it. Yeah, Dixie Kong. A very bad man came to power named Bowser. Luigi. Bowser, he leads the Koopas now, right? Dixie Kong giggles. "Oh, no, silly, not the same Bowser. It was his great-great-great-great-grandfather."
This is bonkers. This is really, really strange.
And not the Marsupilami Disney afternoon bonkers.
Marsupilami, see him running through the jungle. Got that swing and tail going boom.
That's impressive. I just skipped
I know most of the Disney afternoon theme songs.
I skipped ahead 3.5 hours. There's a scene with Luigi, Toad, and Mouser. Again, Luigi seems to be the protagonist here.
I don't know why is everyone
love
fascinated with Luigi?
I love Luigi too,
know.
but it's Mario.
It's to me, Mario.
I hate that I can't pick Mario in like Super Mario 2 or Mario Kart because they always make him the standard.
the average one, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he has nothing cool. He doesn't have a cool jump. He's
He
not
can't
fast.
float. Yeah.
Make Mario badass.
Make Mario great again.
That's
That's what
what
we're
we're
gonna
just
do. Nintendo Switch. We're gonna switch it up. Mario's gonna be great. He's an
I'm
immigrant.
gonna build a wall.
He's my
I'm
friend.
gonna build a wall. 30-foot pipes. I'm gonna make the Mushroom Kingdom pay for it.
We're gonna send Mario to the Mushroom Kingdom, and he's gonna get all the bad hombres down there. It's gonna be great.
I think
My good friend the Smoke Monster is gonna help out.
as long as there's no pylons, I seem to have trouble with those.
The
I'm
only
becoming
thing I'm
Vincent Price now. I'm the smoke monster. I take many forms.
I guess Mark Hamill's Joker and Vincent Price and the Crypt Keeper, they're not that far away from each other as far as voices.
Hello, Jody.
All right. I do actually want to talk about the Mortal Kombat
Yeah.
movie, though. I feel like you maybe are not as much into the Mortal Kombat movie as I am.
like it.
Like, I've seen it. I've probably seen it 24 times
It's
start
the
to finish.
first or second.
carefully, reptile.
I think I said Lethal Weapon 4 was the first movie we ever watched on pay-per-view. Did I?
Sure,
I
you
mentioned
did.
that. Like
You
that
watched it in
we
Spanish.
figured out how to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think either the second, it might have been the second movie, but it might actually be the first movie. I'm misremembering. But one of the earliest movies we pay-per-viewed was the Mortal Kombat 1 movie.
Yeah, it was.
It was fine.
95 was Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
Also directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, who did
Yeah.
do Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So
that was his.
That makes sense.
That was his like
shtick
breakout
is-
role. He's a very, very successful director. I
Yeah.
think he's not very talented, but
I mean, he's good at making these kind of schlocky action movies,
he
which
got-
there's a place for that.
yeah, he got a lot of credit for one of the Resident Evil's late. Like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
They said the 3D was very well done.
I've only ever seen the first one, and I didn't care for it all that much. The Resident Evil.
I actually I don't like the first one, and I like the sequels better as shitty movies.
Sure.
You could literally they're great background movies.
Yeah.
They're so easy to watch.
Background
no thought.
movies is perfect. Like if you're having a couple of beers with the boys,
Yeah,
good
put it in
movies
the
to watch.
background.
But it's good.
Mortal Kombat. I think Bridget Wilson had a huge
crush
on her.
Oh, the 1-2 punch of this and Billy Madison. Oh, she was in my 10-year-old boy thoughts often.
It had some fun moments. Johnny Cage was really cool.
Johnny Cage is great. So many of his lines in the movie I think of or will use in my everyday life. Like I always think of those are $200 sunglasses, asshole. And then he punches Goro and then he breaks his hand. But
you know what's funny is, so I saw the movie, and I'm not a diehard Mortal Kombat fan.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about the world. I didn't know much about the backstory. This was before Wikipedia.
yeah.
The only relationship I had to it was I had a Sega Game Gear that I played constantly. I loved my Game Gear.
Okay.
And one of the main games I played most of the constantly was Mortal Kombat 2. And the Mortal Kombat 2 on Game Gear was very limited because of the space of a
Right.
of a
It's a
cartridge.
handheld.
So I had 8 characters. Raiden was not one of them.
Okay.
Johnny Cage was not one of them.
Ooh.
Goro's not in Mortal Kombat 1. His brother is in 2.
Well, Goro is the boss of Mortal Kombat 1.
Sonya
You can't
Blade.
play as him.
Sonya Blade is not in it.
Really? These are the iconic 3 would be
There's eight
Liu Kang.
There's 8 characters you could play as in Mortal Kombat 2. So
Yeah.
to me, these were the core characters, and most of them were peripheral. And most of the characters in the movie I couldn't follow. I wasn't like invested in because I didn't know who they were. So here's who in Mortal Kombat 2. The
You had to
ones
have Sub-Zero and Scorpion, right?
Yeah. So for Game Gear, I could play as Liu Kang.
Okay.
Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Jax,
Okay.
who was one of my favorites because his name sounds like Jax.
His name is Jack.
And Reptile.
Okay. Just the green version of Sub-Zero.
Just the green version of Sub-Zero. Katana,
Okay.
Melina,
Okay.
her
interesting.
skin, her
Yeah,
sister,
yeah.
Shang Tsung.
Really?
Yeah, so
The boss of all
those were the
bosses.
8.
Interesting.
Yeah. By the way, Shang Tsung is such a badass in the Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
Now he
that
plays,
actor is so good.
Now he plays this really peaceful old Japanese man in the Man in the High Castle.
Oh, does he?
And he's
I gotta
the
watch
best
that.
character in the show. He's so fascinating, and he's such a good actor.
Yeah.
And we're watching him, and he's such a peaceful guy. He's trying to find peace between Japan and Germany, and
Yeah.
he's trying to help the Americans. And he's such a nice guy. And then I was like, Missy, my girlfriend, she loves Man in the High Castle. We watch
Yeah.
it. I was like, wait, I watch this. And I put him on YouTube, and it's just him like with no sleeves, and he's buff, and he's just like kicking ass as
Yeah.
Shang Tsung. It was really jarring.
I got to see him as an old man.
But yeah, so I watched the Mortal Kombat movie, and I was like, no, I don't relate to any of these characters. Reptile and Jax were in it for 2 seconds.
Right. Jax is in the
I don't
second
know who
one
Johnny
more.
Cage is. I don't know who Sonya Blade. Liu Kang was always my favorite. So
Yeah.
at least I had that to cling on. I didn't know who Raiden was. Yeah, so it was tough.
coward, sorcerer. I know all these like random lines from Mortal Kombat because my brain is made of garbage.
Yeah. So there's
I don't know. It's a fun. If you've never seen it, it is a very, very fun movie to watch. The CGI and the special effects largely haven't
not
aged
great,
well.
not great.
Reptile in particular was just kind of this CGI monster thing.
There were fatalities and stuff in it, right?
Totally. There's a part where where somebody kills someone and Shang Tsung just goes fatality. They shoehorn in all that crap that you want to see if you want to.
Yeah, so then I guess that all went over my head. But it's a very entertaining movie.
It's a solid watch. I recommend it.
What other video game adaptations were there?
Double
trying to-
Dragon. That was a terrible one, but also kind of awesome.
I've watched it once. I really
Scott
don't
Wolf
remember. I remember
and the
Robert
other guy.
Patrick. One of his rare
non-cop.
non-working class
Yeah.
mustached
One of his rare
mustachioed.
non-mustache roles. Yeah, I mean, Street Fighter was another huge one in the 90s. A lot of these are
Never seen Street Fighter, and that's a game I have very little. I don't know. I couldn't name you a single character from
See,
Street Fighter.
I was more of a Street Fighter guy than a Mortal Kombat guy.
from
and
arcades or
we definitely had Street Fighter 2 for Super Nintendo, and my
See,
brother
didn't
and I
have
played that a lot.
See, I grew up with an 8-bit.
I don't know. I mean, I played in the arcade for sure, but mostly the Super Nintendo, and I had Mortal Kombat for PlayStation much later on.
I own all the Mortal Kombat now. I got them for like free or for like $10 or something
Yeah.
for Xbox, and I have all the Street Fighter. I have all these like old games. I don't have time to play them, and
Right.
those,
I mean,
and also the
that's why
games-
they give them away for free, because
Yeah.
it's just like, you can't play this, you fucking idiot.
And those are the games you can't just pick up and play. You got to learn all the moves and shit.
Well,
That's
yeah.
another thing. I was never a big fighting game guy. Is I'm
forward
I'm not
punch.
dexterous. I'm
Get
not,
over here.
I'm not a good video game. As much as I love video games,
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. And I'm a button masher. I can't do moves. I can't. Especially I would have to pick characters in either Killer Instinct or Mortal Kombat or whatever. Their
I like
moves.
the Killer Instinct is one you go to.
That
is
was
a-
one of my big fighting
a
games, yeah.
fallen franchise as far as fighting games
Yeah,
go.
I just downloaded that for free too. But I had to pick characters whose moves were like left A, right B. Like it had to be very
Yeah.
simple moves. If there was a diagonal involved, I couldn't do it. For whatever, I couldn't pull off a diagonal.
Yeah, diagonals were tough.
And
That's
I
more
just-
for the joystick than the control
Oh,
pad.
maybe
It was
that's
tough.
why. Yeah. No, I'm just a terrible fighting game. We used to play X-Men. That was like one of the. And I always.
We had X-Men Shattered Dimensions
Yeah,
for
which was
PlayStation 2.
Great game.
Great
And
game.
We would play it for hours.
Good fighting game.
I had always had to be Nightcrawler because he was the only one whose moves I could do. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
yeah.
would get so mad at me because I was just
Because you would just teleport
around.
away.
Yeah.
Like a little
But
piece
I
of
wasn't. I
garbage.
wasn't because I was trying to be cheap. It was the only move I knew how to do.
That makes sense. That's
If I could do a Cyclops Eye Blast, I would, baby.
Well, I think it was just up, down, left, right, BA, start, select.
Oh, then the Konami codes would
And
pop
then you
up.
get infinite lives. We're running out of time.
I
We only
wonder
got
if
like
that's in the Super Mario Max Landis movie. I guess not. It's not Konami.
It wasn't Konami. Konami.
I don't know. I keep saying Konami.
Before we run out of time, we have to mention the best part of the Mortal Kombat movie.
When he gets punched in the balls.
I mean, I do love that part where he punches Goro on the balls. That's how he beats. This is the part where you fall down and then he falls off the cliff. It's a great movie. You should watch it if you've never seen it.
Whatever you do, don't hit him in the balls. X-Men Wolverine.
I know.
Man, Hugh Jackman.
I thought it was
young.
Everything Goes.
He looks young in X-Men 1, huh?
He does. It's sad that you realize X-Men 1 was only 5 years after Mortal Kombat, the movie.
And not that long ago. 17 years is not a long time.
I mean, it kind of is.
We saw X-Men together
I know.
in the theater.
I remember the day like we saw X-Men.
Yeah.
Like it feels not like yesterday, but it doesn't feel
It
like it
doesn't
was
feel
17 years ago.
It doesn't feel like it was a third of our lives ago.
Yeah.
I plan to live to 51.
That's fair. And the way you eat, that's probably accurate.
That's good. 51 asterisks? Is that the Roger Maris movie?
No, it's 61.
61.
No, before we stop talking about Mortal Kombat, we got to talk about the theme song to the movie, which was the techno song. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, so that was made for the movie.
Mortal Kombat. Bum, 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 bum,
Oh,
bum,
I'm
bum,
surprised
bum,
this
bum,
didn't
bum.
come up.
It's a great song.
Yeah, no, I used it as the linchpin to my documentary. Yeah, you've seen my documentary, right? That I made in college. It was one of my
I
two
don't think I
student
did.
films.
I saw your fiction movie. That's what do they call it?
The movie, my movie.
Yeah, your movie.
Which one? Pongers.
Pongers, yeah.
Let me see here. No, so I did a documentary. Long story, but I took a documentary class and I flirted with the idea of becoming a documentarian, and I made a movie called My Divorce.
Okay.
And it was where I interviewed my parents about why they got divorced, something I never brought up. And
Interesting.
And it was hard conversations.
Sounds tough, yeah.
And it was like, it made it a little easier with the camera.
Yeah.
Which my mom called out and was super awkward. Anyway, so my premise was I invited my dad over to the house, and he and my mom played Mortal Kombat in a death match for my love. Whoever would win my love.
Oh boy.
And that was the movie, and so I that was my framing. I had them play a best of 3.
Yeah.
But
you used the song at some point
so
while they're playing the game.
let me find the scene here.
I've never seen this.
Let me see.
Whatever reason.
Oh, you cat.
Let me see here.
Situations arise.
That's not how your dad sounds. It's more like this. Hey.
All right. Oh, this is it. Okay.
Why do you think I'm making this documentary?
Oh, maybe you have had a lot of questions in your mind about our divorce that never got answered, and this was a good way to do it.
And then it just cuts them as Raiden and Sonya Blade.
That's
now,
awesome.
Now you can't see what's going on screen, but the music,
Yeah.
we might as well play the music for it.
Yeah. You're literally cutting back and forth between your parents playing Mortal Kombat.
And
You were sitting in the middle of them.
Man, I look so young. That was 13 years ago.
You did. I wasn't gonna say it, but since you brought it, you
I've
look a lot
aged
younger
terribly.
there.
So that's the techno music.
Yeah, no, that song is great, and I feel like that's what people remember most from that movie.
Yeah. And here, so if people want to get a sense of what my dad is like based on your impression,
Based on my impression of him?
I think this is one of my favorite things my dad ever said here. So this is where they're picking their characters.
Okay.
All right, so now on the left is Johnny Cage with the sunglasses. Next to him is Kano. The guy in the blue is Sub-Zero. You might want to be Sonya Blade because she's the only woman.
Okay.
She's on the right. On the bottom, Dad is Raiden, Liu Kang, and Scorpion.
So how do we pick?
So move around with the arrows, up, down, left, right, and then hit A.
Where is it? Oh, here.
Okay.
So I want to be that dark guy with the hat there.
No.
That's Raiden.
That's a very reductive way to talk about the god of lightning.
I just for some reason the line always stuck with me. I just want to be that dark guy with the hat there.
Hey, Jackie boy, I just want to be the duck guy with the hand over there with the lightning.
I'm just gonna play it like 10 more seconds. I think this might be where I get so frustrated with my mom. She's just like, I was just like press the B button. It's
boy.
not rocket science.
And speak louder. Don't.
Okay.
No, not yell. Don't yell in my ears.
That sums up my relationship with my mom.
That's fair.
Wow, I can't believe how young I look. Oh my
you
god,
do.
I haven't looked at this in forever. I mean, I still was losing my hair, but compared to now, that's depressing.
I want to do a podcast with that guy.
No,
Not this
he's a
schlub.
pretty good looking guy. I still own all of those clothes, by
I
the
was
way.
gonna say I've seen you wear that shirt like recently.
I'm wearing the same clothes from 13 years ago.
That's amazing.
Wow, my dad looks young too. I just hung out with my dad yesterday. He's aged terribly. We all aged. My mom,
We're all aging.
My mom.
I haven't seen your mom since
She's
probably
an
around
old
this
lady.
time.
She's an old lady now.
She's an old lady now.
Yeah.
What you talking about? She old lady now.
I mean, she's nearing 70. She's put in her time. She looks great. But
I know our parents are old. It's sad.
Like she's 55 there, and like I guess I thought she was old then. And I'm like, man, 55. I'm
55's not
almost
that old.
55.
We're getting not that close.
We'll be
but
seeing like
somewhat
X-Men
close.
6 together. We'll be 55.
X-Men 6, X-Men 79.
Yeah,
it'll
whatever
be.
it is. It's been
They
10.
already have like
There's been
11
9,
of them.
right? 10 if you count Deadpool.
You got, well, okay.
Stupid
Let's list
Deadpool,
them off. You got X-Men, you got X-Men 2, X-Men United, X-Men The Last Stand,
Wolverine
X-Men Origins,
Origins,
Wolverine,
First Class,
X-Men First Class,
The
X-Men
the
Days of Future
Wolverine.
Past, The Wolverine, X-Men Apocalypse, Logan,
Deadpool.
That's
So
10.
And then supposedly they're going to do a 90s X-Men movie as part of the First Class trilogy. The quadrilogy.
I'm tired of these X-Men
with,
movies.
about Phoenix, but I don't know.
X-Men Apocalypse was really bad.
I rewatched it last week.
really didn't care for it.
We were both really down on it. I rewatched it this week, and
Not so bad.
not the problems we had with it are still there, but a lot.
Yeah.
I think we were overlooking a lot of decent stuff in it. You know what the
Alright.
big problem was the new characters.
Yeah, I mean-
Cyclops and Jean Grey and everything.
They
So
had
the
nothing.
idea that they're gonna do this new '90s one, although I feel like they might not. I don't know. It's in.
I don't
limbo.
know. That's the end of the show, though. We have no idea what the X-Men are going to do. And that's what we've learned here today. No, what have we learned today? That's the end of the episode. So, Jack, what have you learned here today?
I learned that you love Super Mario Brothers a lot. I knew you liked it. I knew you were an apologist for it, and I don't mean that in a negative connotation because I also enjoy it very much. But I didn't realize you loved it as much as you do.
Here's how cool I am. I used to have a one-sheet poster of Super Mario Brothers in my room when I was a senior in college.
I had I should have played this instead of my documentary.
And I still did pretty well for myself, despite that.
I had a Metal Mario poster in my college dorm, and in high school I had it up. It was a Nintendo Power.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Metal Mario
Yep.
came with my Nintendo 64, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just such a badass like hero pose of Mario in metal form. Oh, it's so cool. And then like when I was taking it down a tour, and
Oh, that's a bummer.
I also threw out all my posters one day. I was just like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
And I threw all my posters. I threw out all my set lists. I used to collect set lists from bands.
You
I
did,
liked.
yeah.
And I threw them all out, and I immediately regretted it. I was like, I should have kept it. I had a really cool Alex Ross Batgirl poster.
Oh, you threw that out?
I threw out every
boo.
single poster. I think I might even threw out my Pinocchio poster, which was like from the 40s.
Oh, why would you get rid of that one?
Because it was all torn, and it's just...
It's from the 40s.
Because I hung them all up with Scotch tape, and every time I would take them down, they'd tear a little bit more, and I moved like 3-4 times, and they were all just...
right.
Yeah, and then when I moved here, I was like, you know what? Let's just clean house, and I
That's
do regret
fair.
it. I do regret it.
The only poster I have
I could have
kept,
framed them.
I have the theatrical poster for Mask of the Phantasm.
Nice.
I have that framed.
Yeah, that's right.
anyway.
It's a cool poster.
Yeah, I love that poster.
But what were we just saying about the?
We were saying, what have we learned?
No, I should have.
to wrap up the show.
I should have played that instead of the documentary. I made a 16-minute audio project when we were learning sound design. We had to make an audio. Hey, look at this! I'm doing audio
Yeah,
now.
there you go.
And it was all video game references, and it had.
I do remember that.
It was called My Cousin Mario.
Yes, I remember that.
He's on trial.
Yeah,
all the other video game characters hated him.
Yes.
I should have played that instead of. But the reason
Maybe next time,
But
Jack.
the reason I played that was because I was in love with the Bowser theme from Mario 64.
Right.
And I was like,
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
use this in something. What could I use it in?
How could I do it? And you
And
built
then
the project around
that entire thing.
That's good. What did I learn today? I learned that everybody loves smegma and that Jack has aged poorly.
I really have. I can't look at it. I can't. I really wish we didn't. I have a tan. It's in the summer.
Yeah, you could tell you're much tanner.
The girl that was in
That's
my,
like a cool dude.
I remember that day well. I had to go all the way to the city that morning to meet the girl in my crew because you would in a lot of film schools you're broken up into crews like 4 and you have to share the equipment. And she I had to pick up the equipment from her. She had to come from upstate, take a train
God.
down to Grand Central. I had to meet at Grand Central just to pick it up. So I went all the way to Grand Central, came all the way back,
So annoying.
filmed this. But anyway, that girl is now a huge producer. She was a Weekend Update writer for years, and
Oh, wow.
she's doing Man Seeking Woman now. And
All right. And you're doing this podcast.
just aged. I'm Logan. I'm just.
Nice. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this episode of 90s Percentile. If you want more episodes, you can go to our website, which is weepodcast.com, weepodcast.com, or 90spercentile.com. We'll take you to the same place. And while you're there, if you want to, you can get old episodes of the show. You can get our show, what's that other show called? Worst Episode Ever, Simpsons Podcast. Couldn't think of it for a second. Our Sync Points episodes are there. Everything we're doing is on weepodcast.com. And you
Join
can follow
our
us.
newsletter.
Join our newsletter, newsletter.wepodcast.com. That's a thing. You can go there and sign up for the newsletter.
Do that, or just click the link.
Or just click the link. We got options here. And definitely you want to do amazon.wepodcast.com. That'll take you to Amazon, and you shop like you normally would. We get a small cut. That helps keep the show free. You don't want to do that. You don't want to spend any money, but you still want to support us. You go on iTunes. You give us a 5-star review, and it might get read
It's so easy.
on air, but we don't have any new ones to read on air right now.
Where's our reviews?
Where's our
What
reviews,
happened?
guys? You
Yeah.
guys got to give us reviews, guys.
I guess we ran out of our diehard fans, and
All 5 listeners posted all of their ratings.
oh well.
I haven't rated the show. I should rate the
You
show,
should
and
rate the
then
show.
you should have to read my rating.
It better not be Jackson.
Jack
smells like a
Smells,
smegma.
5 stars.
Don't make me read that.
I might.
I'm already I'm staring at my younger self.
You
and
are.
filled with depression right now.
Looking in a horrible mirror. All right.
It's like the portrait of Dorian Gray, but backwards.
yeah, really.
It's like Benjamin Button, but backwards.
But just it's like Benjamin Button, but backwards.
I like that movie, Backwards Benjamin Button.
I think you're talking about Brad Pitt's life.
Starring Pitt Brad, yeah. It's just Brad Pitt, yeah.
It's just Brad Pitt.
Yeah, anyway. All right, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
That's it for this,
My
that's
name
it
is
for this
Jack.
episode. My name is Dan, and my name is Jack.
I did it right.
No. Oh,
I
you started
started.
it. You're right. Okay.
I did it right. You asshole. I know what I'm doing. You must be the other guy.
I don't even know how we fix this now.
This is it. This is how we end the show.
And my name is Dan, and we'll see you in another decade.